This land has been under siege for 9 years now, leaving nothing but rubble and toxic fumes. Most people are doing their best to make it across the border. That's where they look to rebuild and start new lives. Just when we were at our lowest as a humanity, we were plagued by a highly contagious virus. Luckily, you can't spread it unless you have a fatal case. But in order to make it across the border, you must provide a negative scan for this virus. The journey to the new land is long and grueling, although it's made a little bit easier by periodic safe houses along the way. These safe houses provide a warm night to stay in, safe. Owned and operated by Morrison Montgomery, the Hearn Ridge Sanctuary is known all across the country as one of the last safe houses before the border. After the war, this country was a lawless wasteland. Fortunately, a noble few have made the choice to do their best to uphold the law and to create a sense of justice and order. The old world is dying, and the new one is struggling to be born. Now is truly the time of monsters.
How much further?
Not far, within a mile.
I don't think I can make it.
Arthur,
Can we stop here to rest?
be a fucking man. It's 1 goddamn mile. You wanna rest, you rest when you get there.
Come on, we can rest when we get there.
Then you'll have the strength to make it to the border.
Come on in. Make yourselves comfortable. If you're cold, you can make a fire.
Stay right here. I'll feel better once you warm up a bit. I'll get you a blanket.
Arthur's like a brother to Roman. When I was sent to the front lines in the beginning of the war, his family took Roman in. His parents saved Roman. And Arthur and Roman became close friends, living in the family's secluded house. That was until the virus. Arthur's dad went to town to get food, but by the time he got back, he was already showing symptoms. He died a week later, and his mom didn't make it much longer. Arthur got it too, but since he was so young, his body became accustomed to it. He wouldn't die or spread it, but he would be forced to continue living with the illness for the rest of his days.
What happened?
I don't know. I heard a shot and came right here.
What happened? I said, what happened? Unless one of you starts fucking talking right now, I'm just...
Did I get him?
Got him. Clean shot.
Nice. Oh, do you hear that?
Who are you?
Well, I'm Leon, and this is my associate, Raymond Holmes.
What are you doing out here?
Well, what's it look like?
You were asleep at the cabin earlier.
Yeah, they're also crossing the border.
That's right. We hunt rare game and sell it to the highest bidder. But ever since the war started, most of our customers have traveled across the border.
Since when has squirrel been rare game?
It's a long trip. You need something to eat.
It's getting cold. We should get back to the fire. It's obvious, isn't it?
How so?
They saw a movement in the woods, thought it was an animal. They shot and killed Oberon Redford.
I don't think so. They're out here hunting turkey and vermin. They're not hunting big game. Even if they thought he was an animal, they wouldn't try and shoot something that big.
So you think it wasn't them?
I didn't say that. That's just, it ain't how it happened.
Harlan took Josie under his wing after her father died. You see, Josie's father taught Harlan just about everything he knows. They worked together as marshals, and when the war started, They were the first ones to volunteer. Josie was only 6 at the time, and her mother was already gone. Josie's father died in the war, but before he did, he made Harlan promise to raise her and teach her and show her everything that he had taught Harlan.
Who the fuck does he think he is?
Who?
That motherfucker.
You don't know Josie and Harlan? Harlan's probably the sharpest marshal this area has.
Well, fuck him.
What's that?
Who the fuck are you?
Whoa, LB Hessonite.
I don't give a shit about your name. What are you doing here?
Trying to figure out what happened here.
Yo, what the fuck do you think we're doing?
Roman! Stop it! We'll figure out what they're up to. Go get some rest.
Rest? My father was just murdered, and you expect me to get some rest?
You need it. Go sit by the fire at least if you're not gonna get some sleep.
What's happening? What's going on?
He's dead.
Oberon?
Go back to sleep.
So, Hessonite, huh?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Praying.
What for?
An answer to what happened to this man. What? You think that's funny?
Seems like these days life is just one vile fucking sight after another. And after you've seen enough of it, it's just hard to believe in a greater power.
What do the horrors you have seen have anything to do with the existence of a greater power?
Like I said, once you've seen what I've seen, it just seems impossible that your God would allow something like that to happen.
My God? God does not belong to me. I belong to him. And in return, God and all of his wisdom are there for those simply seeking it. But, to your point, why do you say that God let this happen? A sin is a sin, and justice for the sin is due. And let it be known, no matter the sin, justice will be served.
Well, I can agree with you there. But in my travels, I found that people don't really tend to change. So I like to solve my problems the only way I know how.
How's that? But don't you think that justice can present itself in many different ways? Sometimes, even forgiveness is the best justice. Now, if you excuse me, you've interrupted my praying on what transpired here tonight.
Where are you two going?
We've already overstayed our welcome.
It's past time we continued our trip to the border.
I don't think so. We're gonna stay here for the night. Or at least until the murderer is found.
Are you asking me, or are you telling me?
Well, if it makes you feel better, you can tell people I asked.
Leon and Ray Holmes. Where to start? They never had much, but they always had each other. And they had to fend for themselves from a young age. Interesting how people from the same place can come out so different. Leon can let the little things roll off a bit easier. But Ray, he learned early never to take shit from anybody. Now that doesn't mean Leon won't call you out, but it might just take a bit longer.
How's he holding up?
He's fine. He just needs some rest.
Where are you two coming from?
Just east of Big Bear Creek.
Is that up by Silverpick?
Quarter-mile away, you know it?
We spent some time there at the beginning of the war. We loved it there.
And how about you?
Well, originally we're from Diamond Hill, but we travel around the Iron Spring Mesa for work.
And what do you do for work?
Well, the title I most prefer is Marshal, but really we just protect this land from anarchy.
So we're supposed to just accept what you two choose to be right and wrong?
I don't care what you think. Don't change what we do.
You still planning on crossing the border?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've got land up there, right?
Yeah. Wait. How do you know about that?
Your father mentioned it earlier to Montgomery.
So what was your plan once you crossed the border?
Well,
Whoa. I was talking to him.
Once we get across the border, continue hunting.
That's not what I meant. Where would you go?
To the promised land.
I don't think so. You don't got the money or the assets to start a new life there.
face it, you're broke. You killed Oberon Redford for his land, then you were gonna kill Roman. The only problem is that he stayed by the fire with everybody else, by his side.
Now, if I remember correctly, in this whole pursuit of justice, you need evidence, of which you have none.
Technically, we don't need evidence if we have a clear timeline and a few key witnesses. First, you were in the sanctuary, and you overheard Oberon talking about the land.
Then you went into the woods. A shot was fired, and there you were. Guns drawn, in perfect view of the body. It must have been you.
You know, this is a real cute story that you two are cooking up here. However, if you would examine my weapon, you would see that I'm shooting birdshot. Now, I may not know everything, but I know that ain't no wound from no birdshot.
Type of round don't matter. Bullets just kind of kill people.
And you think that I would kill a man over something so insignificant as land?
I've killed people I liked more for less.
How dare you accuse us without a shred of proof? Besides, you've had it out for Ray this whole goddamn fucking time. You're just trying to back us into a corner, and Ray already proved it wasn't us.
What am I supposed to do? Just sit here and let you go? While Arthur and Roman are grieving? No. I've been doing this long enough to know two son of a bitch murderers when I see them.
You're acting like animals. If you haven't figured out who killed him by now, I doubt you ever will. We've discovered Oberon's commodity, which seems to be worth quite a bit at this current time. But here's where you all got some things wrong. Raymond Holmes was not the only one to overhear me and Oberon's talking. Harlan Bell, you were standing outside the sanctuary while me and Oberon spoke. There's question of it being Raymond, which means you were the only other to know about Oberon's land. Even then, though, I still couldn't prove my theory. That is, until LB Hessonite provided me with the bullet used to kill Oberon Redford. Now, if someone would compare the bullet from Harlan Bell's gun to this one, I'm positive we'd have a match.
Now, Ray, I don't doubt this is the first time you've had a gun pointed at you. But if you take one more step, it will be your last. Don't go for that fucking shotgun, Leon. I'll put one through you before you can rack and load. This is a fucking outrage. One more step!
This was in his jacket pocket.
I believe this belongs to you.
Josie, listen to me. You're not seeing straight.
How could you? What makes you any different than the people that we're protecting this country from?
Josie, it was one mistake.
One mistake? I've been pushing off your fucking mistakes for years.
We're like family. This was for our future. Your future. We were going nowhere here. We could have gotten away from all this shit there. We could have been set up. Josie, trust me. It's what your father would have wanted.
How fucking dare you mention him?
You didn't even know him! Josie, please.
How are you not more upset? Your father was killed and you watched his killer be executed.
How could I be upset when everything went according to plan?
What?
You see, Harlan heard about the land, and he came to me asking to purchase it. That's when I told him he could have it for free, in exchange for a small favor. I told him to kill Oberon, take the ownership papers from his pockets, and walk off knowing nothing. I waited with the body so that I could get his negative infection test so that you could cross the border. I then waited with the body so that Harlan would not be able to retrieve the bullet, his bullet, from the tree. I knew someone would eventually think to investigate the area. I just didn't think it would take so long. But it happened nonetheless. I knew that once somebody found the bullet, the rest would take care of itself. Come on.